This is really gonna be not really some teaching tool. It's really not anything. I'm about to get out of here. I'm about to leave. I'm just gonna run a few laps up and down. But since I'm here, I used to do this when I freestyle. I believe that when you freestyle, you rap, you should always record it because you never know when you get a source or a sense or a spurt of brilliance. And the last thing you think of is, my goodness, I should have put that on record so I could write it down word for word and I can remaster it. But that's the concept. Like when you are making videos, sometimes you're not sure, so you just keep them all and you just document them all. All right. So for me, I'm not even in an attire. I have old medical shorts on. This is when I was a phlebotomist. I used to wear these shorts. It's a requirement for all those in medical facility scrubs. So definitely not running attire. Uh, so what I'm gonna do, I'm just running down. So my form, I can remember my form. I can see I got one leg that generally gets a little less circulation than the other, so that's the leg, my left leg, that I want to build up more. And this is just good documentation as I'm building up muscle, how my form and my structure change over time. So I'm going to run down, run back up, and that's more than enough for me to just see my form, like I say. And over time, as I really start to squat and do leg press and do leg exercises, it should really change the way I walk and bring a little more balance. Okay. So one thing I noticed right away is when I run, especially when you have a leg or a muscle group that's a little tighter, more constricted than the other, lots of time it's in the joints. For me, it's in the hip joint. I had a hip injury long ago. So in this hip joint, it is imperative that when I run with that leg relaxed. Sometimes you want to brace. You become self-conscious of that particular leg, so you hold it tight. As you hold it tight, your muscles build that way. So it's not that leg is weaker, it actually becomes more compact. My particular left leg is actually has more endurance than my right leg, but it's not as bulky because the right leg is not like it's in a brace. I actually naturally created my own brace with my left leg by holding certain muscles together. Over time, I got used to that, and you do something for so long, you'll relax, and it relaxes that way because you built all the joints and the tendons forming that way. So what I do is imperative that I allow my hip flexors to be loose to the point that it almost dangles as I run, and it forces muscle in areas that is not normally activated to activate and start to grow. What this does is shifts my butt, the gluteus maximus, it shifts my hips, and it shifts the angle of my hip flexors, so then it allows blood flow to go into areas where I had previous injury, and it starts to pump up my hamstring and my left leg and gives me the desired look, the balance and strength that I need. And after time, what it is you're creating the frame, and then you just fill up the frame. All right, for a quick example. So right here, instead of running very stiff, it should be almost loose. So these muscles force to create a new structure as I run. It takes a little to get used to at first, because you feel like a horse who just blew one of his leg, like a car that just blew a tire. But it's imperative you allow that to go for a time. You have to be uncomfortable sometimes to move into the comfort. All right? So I'm gonna run with you. I'll give you a close up what I mean. Okay. So that's my leg. So as you can see, my right leg, this leg, no different than anyone else's leg. I could build it could get quite bulky. But this leg here, the injury leg, you can see the hip is a little less impact. I don't have much mass on my leg.